Ladies and gentlemen, guys, everyone, welcome back to Sheer Thoughts. It's been a while. I mean, I feel like it's only been like a week and a half, but I feel like it's been a while. I don't know why. I feel like it's been some time.
It does.
But
It does.
appreciate y'all being here again, man. Much love to all of you guys. As always, man, you already know. You already see her. Okay, you know the vibes. All right. Who am I here with? Okay, it's the one and only, the queen. You know, just radiance. It's off of her. It's Miss Tony Panda. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while.
Everybody.
It's been a while since I did an intro like that for you. I just had to.
I know, I was like, oh, definitely because again.
Every once in a while, I got thrown out there. You know, every once in a while.
Oh,
But,
no, that's true. That's true.
But before we obviously get into it, you already know Sony. Girl, what you rocking? Because those look pretty fire. Okay, that pair looks pretty dope. It's a
Yeah.
sick design. I like those. Which ones are those?
So these are the Pretty Polly lace. That were kind of semi-floral, but not really floral. But they're like a lace pair. They're like one of their newest, like in their new collection at the moment.
Word, okay.
And yeah, so I thought because it's spooky season, I was like, what better way than to grunge it up? So I was like, yeah, this works perfectly.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like those. I definitely gotta start getting more patterned ones, like just because to like fuck with them, and especially just because since like there's so many nylons that have patterns on them, it's also I could make it like you know a style for myself. So I really gotta start like messing with those.
You should, honestly. I really like pattern types just because they just add something. Just even it could be something so simple, and that's what I mean. It's like if I wore a shape, I don't know, they look cool, but patterns just elevate outfits.
Hell yeah.
So patterns are like my number ones, to be honest. So
Fair enough.
yeah. Anyway, what about you? What about you? What have you got on today?
Since the weather is starting to change, I'm not liking it. It's a little chilly. Okay, so I decided to go with a little layering today because I'm like this bitch is cold out here. Okay, I'm like it. But I'm rocking I'm not entirely sure the brand name just because like I think I forgot where I found them, but I'm just gonna say an unnamed brand of suntan underneath, and then I'm rocking my Wolford individual 10s on top. So
I thought you were gonna say the Lux 9s or whatever on top. I was like, oh, which one?
No, I switched it up. Switched it up. Got the individual 10s on for today, which I figured, you know, why not? But I mean, you know, the layering helps just because it's starting to be freaking chilly, so at least I'm not as cold. Also, guys, if I do sound a little nasally, if I cough a lot, I do apologize. I am recovering from being sick. It was very annoying because I was sick like a week and a half ago, like like 2 weeks ago, like right when we came back from the cruise. I figured, you know, being around people, whatever, got a little sick. Okay, fine. And then I recovered from that pretty quick, but I've always had congestion issues since I was a kid. Like my sinuses are always terrible for me. That I noticed my hearing and my congestion still wasn't perfect. That I feel like since my congestion never became, or my sinus never became perfect, I think I went from getting a cold to a sinus infection. That it was like, oh great, like because then last week I was not feeling well, very congested, throat was killing me for like one day, but then I had no fever, so it was like that was weird. So I think it was just like a sinus infection, like that was just it. So if I do sound nasally, everyone, if I cough, I do apologize. It's just, yeah, I'm recovering, but I'm getting there. I'm getting better.
So Chuck has boogers, basically. He has boogers to deal with today.
It's disgusting. It's terrible. I hate it. Yeah. It's terrible. But guys, we are officially in October. First episode in October. So happy pre-Halloween, spooky season. Everyone getting ready. People been getting ready. It's crazy. Let me tell you, when I will honestly argue that the people who love Halloween have way more love and like enthusiasm for Halloween than they do Christmas. I'm very convinced.
Yeah.
Because when Christmas comes around, oh my God, Christmas, happiness. But bro, when Halloween comes around, like the people who love Halloween, yes, spooky season, here for it, ready, all black every day. Like, damn, son, okay. Like, I hear you. It's all right. Like people be loving Halloween, but I mean, I could see why. You know, candy, it's a good thing. You know, candy's great, depending on the candy, but I feel like a lot of people love candy. But the costumes, man, I mean, I think that's one of the best things about Halloween. You know, you get to literally be someone different. You get to dress up as someone different, and you can actually dress up and not get judged because everyone's dressing up. It's a great feeling, right? So, so I kind of figured we'll start out the episode today with Sony, if it's all right with you. I figured we talk a little about Halloween, how it started, little origins
Yeah,
of it.
man.
You know, I mean, I don't really know the origins of it. I know about it, but it's like I'm a very big history buff, so I love learning things about the past. But I've actually never really looked into Halloween, like what it is, how it started, why it's around.
Yeah.
Have you? Like, do you?
You know what? A very long time ago, because I was intrigued as to the whole thing about, because it was like, I remember like when I was younger, I never really understood it. Obviously,
Yeah.
all I knew was go trick or treating, everyone eggs windows,
That's
everyone behaves like a stupid idiot, because obviously it's dark and they could get away
oh
with
my
it.
god, yeah,
And
bro.
then yeah, but I remember researching it ages ago, and then if I'm honest, I've forgotten about it because it is. It's like I like Halloween. I think Halloween is really cool, but I'm not like a massive fan. Like, because it's like I've seen already, especially like Instagram and stuff like that. People, especially in America, obviously how they like proper do decor outside their houses. There's a couple in America where every inflatable to do with Halloween is up. There's massive tarantulas, there's massive skeletons, there's huge lifelike bats. It was like, don't get me wrong, it was cool as hell, but it was just a bit, wow, that's like Christmas, but for the spooky
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But yeah, but I have to admit, no, I actually don't know much about it. But then I've also heard kind of over the years, I've heard quite conflicting things about it as well, because naturally everyone's kind of got their own theory depending on what religion or what kind of um sometimes it could be religion, sometimes it could just be theories. Everyone's kind of got a different thing or different perception about it. So I've heard like things about like Salem and witches and everything like that, but then I've also heard like really good things about witches. So I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know. I don't know is pretty much the answer after I beat around the bush about it.
Fair enough. I mean, hey, I get what you mean, though, girl. It's understandable. I mean, growing up where I grew up, in like Jersey, there was always this one area that I don't know. I can't remember if they do. I'm pretty sure they do it for Christmas, but I'm pretty sure they also do it for Halloween. There's like legitimately like a street. There's like a block in like a city like not that far from me that like the whole block is like infamously known that the entire block, every single house is decked out for the
Oh,
holiday.
I love stuff like that. I love seeing stuff like that. Oh my God. I don't care what occasion it is. I love it, especially when a group of houses like get together and they're on the same vibe to make it like, come to our street, mate. You like,
But and it's
we're
but
like
it's
some stuff in peace.
it's so crazy to me because it's like, bro, all of you must clearly know each other. Like growing up,
Yeah,
bro, I knew some neighbors here and there, but this is like a row of houses on each
yeah,
side that are completely
yeah,
decked out in the most Halloween and slash Christmas decor you could think of. So it's like,
yeah.
damn, y'all must have meetings. Like I swear they
I
do,
mean, but
bro.
you know what? If they don't, this is the perfect case of they got the memo. Honestly, that would be so sick. Because imagine not knowing your neighbors, but you see one neighbor do it, you think, pretty sick, man, isn't it? Like, let's for a day,
Bro,
let's
and
put it up.
somehow
And the,
everyone
and the clothes.
but but
Honestly, that'd be
but
pretty
my
cool.
my whole thing is like I want to know how this got started. Because my whole thing is out of like the 12 houses or whatever on that block or whatever it is, one of you had to have started going crazy,
Yeah,
like from the get-go. That
yeah,
then someone either across the street or the next door neighbor was like, nah, fam, I'm gonna make this shit big. And then somehow the trickle down effect of everyone was like, well, we're just all doing this shit now. And it's like, bro,
yeah.
it's crazy, dude.
Or imagine if it was a competition between opposing houses, and then people thought, "Oh, this is what we're doing. Oh,
Bro,
me, not
that is
knowing it's
so funny.
competition." Oh my God,
That would
that'd be
actually be funny. That would actually be funny. Like somehow, like you said, it just happened to be between these two houses, but then
hilarious.
everyone's like, "Oh, they're in the spirit, so are we," and it's like, no,
Yeah,
guys, like
yeah.
But it's like,
Oh, I love stuff like that.
bro, that would be insane. That would actually be very funny. That would actually be so funny. Because me and my curiosity, I just want to go knock on a door and be like, how? Why? Like, someone tell me.
Please do it. Like when you're next near it, just please go knock on the house and be like, who started this? I need to know the history.
Yeah,
Just
bro,
like I'm a history buff. I need to know the history.
I really should. It's too funny.
Get them to come on our podcast as well and explain the history of their whole thing.
That would be legendary. That would be so legendary. I can't even lie. That would be
Oh,
so legendary. That'd be fire. All right.
It would be awesome.
So I looked it up. This is like from the History Channel. So, you know, I'm just going based off of this, right?
Amazing.
But
I think you might say Wikipedia.
Yeah, all right. So, so apparently, as we all know, Halloween is celebrated October 31st, of course. But apparently, which I've heard things like this, like now that I'm reading into it, but I I didn't realize it was from this origin, which is fascinating to me. The tradition is originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, something like that.
Okay.
Okay. When people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. Interesting. So
wow.
So obviously that's where the whole costume thing started, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
But I never knew that it was to ward off ghosts, which to me is fascinating because in the Day of the Dead in Mexico, that's not their Halloween. That is just a thing of theirs. But to me, that's fascinating because if you think about it, the Celtic way was to dress up to get rid of the ghosts. But in Mexican culture, for Day of the Dead, you dress up and wear paint to actually celebrate the spirits. So it's so weird how different that is, bro. So
it is,
That's why I get fascinated by cultures, man. I'm telling you, things be different.
Oh, honestly, yeah.
Apparently, it says here in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor All Saints. Soon, All Saints Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. I'm assuming that's how you say it. The evening before was known as All Hallows Eve. I know that. I've heard of that. The later Halloween. Over time, Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, donning costumes, and eating treats, as we all know it today. Which I will say, a really cool thing because, you know, sadly this world is fucked up. Sadly this world is scary. It's, you know, it sucks to say that sometimes it's difficult to just let your kids go out and go trick-or-treating by themselves. Of course, parents like to be very protective. But I will say what's actually a really cool thing. I don't know if you guys do it over there, but a really cool thing that we do over here is a big mall that's not too far from me. They actually do a trick-or-treating event in the mall. So a lot of stores in the mall will get candy and the kids get to just run around the mall instead of walking outside in the dark, in the cold, you know, trying to knock on these strangers' houses because, you know, shit is scary. You never know. This world is fucked up. But yeah, they've been doing this like mall-wide Halloween trick-or-treating event for the past like few years. And I'm like, that's dope. That's actually great.
You know, that's really nice, actually. Like, I don't think we do anything like that here. I've definitely not heard of it. But that's actually very nice. The fact that it is like it's safe trick-or-treating, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Which I think, and I think that is so great because it is a fact that, you know, man, they're kids. Their whole focus is, I want to be seen in my costume and go get candy. Well, you can. It's just indoors, but at least you know it's still fun, which is what matters, you know? I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, there was a town near us that like, if you knew it, you knew it. It was so infamous, like, for Halloween, because the houses were huge. Their driveways were massive. That they didn't want I guess the owners of the houses would never want to be bothered. So what would they do? Sony, when I tell you I mean barrels of candy just sitting in the front step. It was just fucking thank you. Like it, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm talking about from the floor, a barrel this high, completely full of candy. 2 of them just sitting in front of a house.
Wow.
We'd come home with pillowcases full of candy. Not bags. Pillowcases.
Wow.
Bro. It was.
Oh, wow.
It was dope. And granted, as a fucking kid who like just wants to eat candy, bro, I hit the gold mine. Like, this shit was amazing.
Honestly,
like,
this was like everything you could ever dream of
what?
and more.
What? Shit was incredible.
Wow.
Dopest shit ever. Where is it here? So, Halloween dates back to the Celtic festival, like we said. The Celts who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now Ireland, the United Kingdom and Northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1st. I never knew that. That's actually weird. That's different. This day, that's why. This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Oh, this is why it makes
sense.
Yeah,
because the clocks go back. The clocks go back for us. I'm sure it's end of October, that last weekend of October. I think the clocks go back for us, and that's when it makes sense.
I was gonna say I gotta see when we should be going through that pretty soon, I feel like, but I don't know exactly when it is.
I'm sure it's then.
But that makes sense. Celts believe that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds and the living became blurred. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to Earth.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
So you had said before, though, that it would be, you said that people be egging houses. But when would you guys do that? Was it on Halloween or was it a different night?
On Halloween.
So, funny enough, this is why I always love this shit. We have a night like that. But our night was not called, it wasn't on Halloween. We would do it the night before. So it was called, for where I grew up, we call it Cabbage Night. Other people would call it Mischief Night or whatever the name it was. But for whatever reason growing up, we just call it Cabbage Night. But that was the night that you knew shit's going to go down in town. And it like the town would be ugly on the morning of Halloween. So because it became one of those things where toilet paper would be thrown everywhere. Cars, houses, street signs, bus stops, egg everywhere.
Oh my God.
On all with the toilet paper everywhere, I mean toilet paper on random trees, neighbors' trees, hanging on the telephone wires, like just drapes of it, bro. Crazy. Whoa. My town looked like as if it was hit by like a war. Like it was wild, bro. And that was like the thing. Like everyone knew that. And it became also shaving cream and shaving cream and socks.
So everything messy.
Yo. And then people got really aggressive with it. It was bad because in my town it was like a thing that there was known as like the Eggmobile. And it was like these high schoolers, and they would hold this tradition for like years in my town. It was these high schoolers who would drive around on Cabbage Night because they could drive, literally just pegging people with eggs throughout the town. So if they saw people walking out at night, in other words, the fucking kids that are also doing stuff, they would peg the hell out of these kids with eggs. But then one year it got so messed up that they were throwing frozen eggs.
Oh, that's a bit horrible.
Son, it was painful. That was painful, bro. Oh, God,
someone out.
Like,
my Lord.
Because there was one year that like a bunch of kids got in trouble. I was pretty young because I wasn't even in high school yet. But there was a bunch of kids that got in trouble because apparently one of them grabbed a frozen egg and was like, yeah, I'm going to egg this car. And like broke a guy's like windshield, broke a guy's window. Like, bro, now you're causing damage. Like, that's a different story. Like, fine, you got to clean some shit up, you clean it up. Now I got to fix something? Nah, fam. Someone getting sued. Someone getting sued. I was like, oh, shit. So it got pretty ugly. I mean, in the past, like, years, it hasn't been, like, crazy. I think ever since, like, I was a kid. But that's because cops are now very more aware. They go around a lot more.
Mm.
They know where these kids hang out. Also, a big thing is too, because parents are, traditionally the parents aren't going to really let the kids do it. So of course the kids were smart and they'd be like, oh well, we'll just go buy our own eggs. I think for the past like a certain amount of years, stores won't sell eggs to kids. Like they'll ask for ID and be like, are you at least over 21? Because they know they're not gonna go do that. So that was quite
it's like
funny.
limited. You can only buy like one tray
Yeah,
for like
exactly.
that week or
Yes,
whatever or something.
exactly. But I'll never forget, man. It was scary. There was one year where my mom was always like the cool mom, like she was always a younger mom. So she's like, oh, I hate Cabbage Night, and I'm like, well, why? And she's like, because someone fucked up my car, and I go, well, I understand why you hate it. I was like, but I'm a kid and I just want to go enjoy the shit with my friends. Let me go experience it like once. Sony, when I tell you, and it was scary because it was just the scene of it was like, what the fuck is going on? So where I grew up, there was a park near me, right? And the park had some lights, like here and there. It wasn't like super well lit, but it had enough street lights, like park lights, that you could still see around. But there was always this one section of the park that was like, it was just kind of like a pathway, but it was like in between these two houses. So it was pretty wide. So I'll never forget, me and my friends, and my mom was with us that night, because she was like, oh, fine, go do whatever. But she was like, vandalize the park. Like, they're going to go clean the park anyway. Just, go do it at the park. Don't fuck up people's houses or property. And I said, okay, fair enough. So me and a couple of my friends, or like a few of my friends or whatever, like we went to the park, and, we were young. So we're like, oh, blah, 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 whatever. And of course, like I said, my mom was with me. So she's just kind of like hanging out with us to make sure nothing's going to happen to us. And we start walking back like towards my house. And the way the park was set is for us to go back towards my house to get to the one street, we had to pass that one pathway. But we didn't walk down the pathway because, of course, we were like, well, we're going to walk in light. We could cut through the pathway, but realistically, there was no point because of the way where my house was. So when I tell you, we passed that pathway and we're still walking or whatever, still joking around. And we're not walking like super fast. We're just, trotting along, whatever. Bro, I turned around and so the only thing I could tell you is it looked like an army of kids came out of the pathway. A whole bunch of high schoolers then just started emerging from this fucking pathway, all just wearing black. You can't even really see their face. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So my mom was so smart that she instantly picked up her phone and was like, hello? No, yeah, I'm just with the kid. And I'm like, yo, my mom is a G. Because she goes, yeah, no one called me. I just wanted them to make sure they knew, like, I have a phone. I will instantly call 911 if you fuck with anyone.
Yeah.
But, which, I mean, I didn't think they were going to do, because realistically, like, we were still pretty young. They're a whole, like, so I'm not even exaggerating. And because you couldn't really see in that area, like, you could see the street light on the other side of it. You could see a little bit of the park light on the other side of it. So it's just a black void of space that, unless there's a light in there, you can't really see in there. I'm not, I mean, granted, yes, this was so many years ago, but I'm not even exaggerating. At least a good 30 kids walked out of that path. And it's like, where the fuck did you all just come from? Weird. Because I remember I was just like, oh, haha. And I turned around and I was like, haha. I was like, what is happening? I was like, what is going on here? So that was wild. And it was scary, because the first thing me and my friends thought was like, yo, fuck, we're going to get egged, bro. Like, that was obviously the first thing we thought of. Thankfully, nothing happened, though, and we were cool. But I never forget that, because I was like, bro, where the fuck did y'all come from? And let's be fucking real. All those kids hanging out together, they're all older, all wearing black. We know what y'all about to go do. Like, they were going to go fuck up some houses. They were going to go fuck up some property. It was, bro, it was bad. It was super bad. It was, and I think that's why they started putting a real big limit on things, because this was probably one of the most scariest things, which was really fucked up. There was, I don't know if it was my town. I can't remember exactly if it was my town, but there was a news report one year that, like, I think it was a surrounding town were taking the pranks very, very far, and it was really
Yeah.
fucked up because someone threw a frozen turkey out on top of someone's windshield while the person was driving. So it
What
was
the
like,
hell
what
is
is wrong
wrong
with
with
you?
some
I'm like,
people?
what is wrong with you? I was like, fine, you fuck
Yeah.
up someone's car. It's a parked car. That's still fucked up. Bro, you like traumatized this person while in the
Yeah,
middle of
man.
driving with a fucking frozen turkey that just completely demolished their windshield. I'm like, bro, that's so fucked up, bro. Like that was foul. That was so fucked up. But yeah, and that was the thing.
Oh,
Cabbage Night for us was always the night before Halloween, and then you had Halloween. So that was like always a big thing for us. But
man.
it was that shit was crazy, bro. That shit was it was definitely scary at times because, like I said, there were definitely people who took it very far,
Mm.
and would just fucking be crazy. Like it was it was too it seriously did get too much at one point, and it also got like scary because then it was just like, bro, like God forbid someone truly gets hurt. Like
Yeah.
that's not right. That's definitely not appropriate.
Yeah.
That's definitely not fair. Like, and it's just like that's super fucked up, bro. Like
Mm.
it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, everyone should still be able to have fun, be safe, be careful. Like it
No,
doesn't have to be anything
exactly.
crazy.
Exactly. But sometimes that's the thing, innit? Some people just take it that one step too far and you think you're just ruining it for everybody else. So yeah, I hear that.
Definitely not right. Um.
Mm.
Okay. So, where was it? Where was I? What? Interesting. Okay then. So in addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts thought that the presence of the otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future. For people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort during the long, dark winter. So it's interesting. There's a
Mm.
lot of history behind this, but yet it's like,
There is actually, surprisingly. Huh.
wow. To commemorate the event, Druids built huge sacred bonfires where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skin and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. When the
Oh no, thank you.
celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening from the sacred bonfire to help protect them during the coming winter. By AD 43, the Roman Empire had conquered the majority of Celtic territory. In the course of the 400 years that they ruled the Celtic lands, two festivals of Roman origin were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. The first was Ferelia, a day in late October where the Romans traditionally commemorated the passing of the dead. The second was the day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, it just something clicked in my head. The symbol of Pomona is the apple. The incorporation of this celebration into the Samhain probably explains the tradition of bobbing for apples that is practiced today in Halloween.
Yeah.
That's dope. Oh shit, word.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. As soon as you said apple, I was like, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's always a big. I mean, I never played bobbing for apples, but that's always been like in movies. It's always
It's like
been
a
like,
thing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
always been a traditional like Halloween game. That's interesting. Listen, I get fascinated by this stuff, guys. I apologize if it's boring to you, but I enjoy this stuff. I like learning. So I like learning what I like. That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, God.
Okay.
No, that is
Very
interesting.
So I knew about the whole All Saints Day because I remember hearing about that years ago. I remember that always caught my interest, but that's wild. That's so crazy. Wow, so back then their new year was considered November 1st, not January 1st. Which makes sense because of course it's like, oh, summer's over, winter's coming. Okay, so it's a new year. Like that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. Oh shit.
Yeah. Because even same with the Indians as well, like with Sikhs and Hindus, like our new year is like Diwali. So it shouldn't actually just be
That's
January
your
1st, it
new
should be
year.
Diwali. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. So I
That
suppose
makes
each
sense.
every kind of culture in some sense does have a certain New Year in it. Obviously, January the 1st. But yeah, very, very interesting actually.
No, that is that. That's actually that's interesting. That's different. Interesting. But so,
Oh,
but then wait a minute. Don't you wait? Isn't there Am I tripping? Isn't there also like a Muslim holiday that everyone dresses up?
that's their Eid, I think, when they do Ramadan and
Oh, okay.
Eid, and
Yeah,
yeah,
Ramadan,
and
right?
that's like
Like,
their yeah, that's like their Christmas. So it's like they'll obviously fast like
okay.
for 30 days. I think they do it twice a year, but one of them is what I've heard. Just I'm going off
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I've heard, but one of the two that they do during the year is the bigger one. That like,
Ah, okay.
oh, you that it's a lot more like there's a lot more significance to it. Because then at the end of it, it's like how we do Christmas. They'll exchange loads of different gifts. Whereas I think the other one isn't as big. So yeah, yeah, there is that one as well.
Fair enough. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, okay.
Mm,
Fair enough then.
mm,
Interesting. Okay then.
yeah. But coming back to it, like, yeah, it's actually pretty fascinating about Halloween and the whole like backstory of it. And that's what I mean. I think everybody or different cultures have different perceptions and different kind of things about Halloween,
Yeah,
really. Because that's what I
yeah,
mean. It's like I've heard so many different things, and you think, well, actually, you don't know which one's right, but obviously to someone that is like, yeah, that's gospel. Whereas to somebody else, it's like, well, actually, I don't really believe in that. It's actually this. So
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
interesting. It's very, very
That makes
interesting.
sense. So, all right. So then, now that we know a little history on Halloween, so I gotta ask you then, Sony.
Mm.
Uh, in all the years, because so I know in England, I know y'all. Listen, I know for a fact in the UK or in England specifically, y'all don't even need Halloween. Okay, y'all be dressing up just to go out. Okay, I've seen it.
Oh yeah,
All right,
yeah, yeah.
I've seen the pub nights. You know, everyone dresses up in the pub gear. You know, I mean the golf gear, whatever. You know, I've seen people dress up in a certain way, and I gotta say, I do love that culture about you guys because you don't really see that out here. It's like
Mm,
because I've always said everything in America is a trend, and that's truly
mm,
what I believe in. But I gotta say I love the UK or like the English culture because for you guys it's not about trends. It's just bro, we just living, we just doing it. So
yeah.
I do love that aspect of it. Um, but what would you say was your favorite Halloween costume you ever had in all the years that you dressed up for Halloween specifically? I'm sure you've dressed up for parties. I'm talking about specifically Halloween.
Um, so that sounds so sad now. So I've only probably dressed up once for Halloween, and it was when I went to a Halloween party. That was the only time I've ever
Interesting.
dressed up for
Okay.
Halloween. Um, yeah, and I did like, do you know, oh my God, no, I think I did a blog on it as well 8 years ago, and I'm talking years ago, like 2015, 2016,
Wow.
2017
Okay.
maybe. But it was, I had like the scary contacts in. I did it.
Oh,
Oh
you
my
went all
God.
out. Okay. Word.
Yeah. I was like no, I remember I had angel wings. I wasn't dressed like a maid. I was dressed like what the hell was I dressed as? I remember wings because I was so happy and everyone wanted to try my wings on and I was like, no, they're my wings. There's a one time
Yo,
in my
shit.
whole life I'm gonna wear wings.
Oh my God, Sony, can I put these on? No.
No. You best believe I just death stared everyone. But you know, because they're like, you know, like the zombie lenses where they're just pure white.
Oh
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
those.
Oh, that's
When you look at
fire.
someone, they're like, and I was like, but yeah, yeah, I remember that. I can't remember what I dressed up as, to be honest. But it was, I remember it was like a black dress. I'm sure it's from Ann Summers, but it was from. I'm not. I think I remember it. It was a black dress with wings. I did what? I think I did hold ups with it
Oh, so you were
because
like,
obviously it went
so
with
you were
the.
like a dark angel.
Yeah,
Like it
I
must
think
have been
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking like, well, wings. You think angel, devil,
Yeah,
something like that.
naturally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then that's why I thought I had a maid outfit because I was like, oh, yeah, I remember the black dress, and I thought there was white piping on it. So this is what I mean. It was a very long time ago, but yeah, it was a good night because all the like it was like me and my boys, we all dressed up. We took like really scary ass video. You know, it was
Yeah, that's
actually
fire. That's
cool.
dope. That's
Yeah,
dope. I like that.
yeah.
Word.
That was what. Yeah, that was the one time I've ever dressed up for Halloween. Yeah, I haven't done it since.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. No, I mean, hey, fuck.
yeah.
I mean, listen. I haven't dressed up for Halloween in years. Like I like and it's not because like I don't want to partake. It's just it's always been one of those things where it's like I really just don't feel like getting dressed up, like just wearing a costume, like I'm like I just really wasn't in the mood for it. But I will say this though, when I was a kid, it was so bad because I didn't even care. It was so bad. But when I was a kid and I dressed up for Halloween, I genuinely think like for like 5 or 6 years in a row, I was a ninja. I was just a ninja like every fucking time. Like but it was because when I was a kid, I loved martial arts. When I was a kid, I loved combat sports. But I was but it was also because I was a gamer. So I loved Mortal Kombat when I was a kid. I loved this game called Killer Instinct. You know, I loved Street Fighter. So I loved Tekken. So I was super into fighting games. And my favorite characters were always from Mortal Kombat: Sub-Zero, Reptile, Smoke, Noob Saibot, who were always the ninjas. I always loved the ninjas. And for me, it was always the you know, they're like dressed in like all black, but their like top part is like their color. So like, you know, like a yellow vest and like the yellow shoes and like not like yellow shorts, but it was I don't know how to explain. Like it looks like a skirt, but it's like, you know, they're still wearing like pants underneath, so it's just part of like the costume. But I always loved that. So for a solid like 5-6 years, I'm pretty sure I was like a ninja. I was like, that's all I want to be. I just want to be a ninja. I don't care about anything else.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I always thought ninjas were badass, so I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I just want to be a ninja. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. Ninjas are cool.
But bro, I remember that was like a huge obsession of mine. Like I loved being a ninja. But I will say it was really funny. One year, I dressed up for Halloween with 2 of my other friends, and this is such a cheesy, stupid story, but you also gotta remember this. Like for me, this was just funny because back in high school, I would always, and I mean always, talk shit about Hollister, the clothing brand. I never liked Hollister, and because back then, you know, anyone around my age, if you know,
I found it.
Oh my god, you found it?
Yeah, I found it.
Like
it took me ages to
like the full costume?
Yes.
So send it to me, because what I'm gonna try to do then, guys, is around this time of the podcast, I'm gonna just try to throw up a quick picture of it so you can see what Sony was talking about. So because I kind of want to start learning how to edit like that, just throw up a quick photo so you guys can see what Sony was talking about, and then, you know, so that'd be good. But one year, no, you good. But one year, my friends and I were so stupid because I was like, yo, I really don't want to dress up, blah blah blah, this and that. But like, I'm sorry to backtrack, but like real quick, you know, in my generation, us growing up in high school, it was like if kids wore Hollister or like Abercrombie & Fitch or like American Eagle, they were the preppy kids. You know, they were like the preppy, they were like the preppy white kids, because it was like all of them wore those. That's just how it was. But I never wore that clothing. I was never a fan of it. I just never was a fan of the clothing. So we don't talk shit about it. That's just how we did. So one year, me and my 2 friends, we go, yo, let's be triplets. And we go, all right. So we're just going to wear the same clothes.
Oh my God.
So my one friend goes, yo, just for Halloween, you got to wear Hollister. And I was like, nope. I was like, not doing it. Fuck that. I can't stand it. But she goes, but what if with the Hollister shirt, she goes, you just wear a regular pair of jeans, but then we wear dunks. And I go, okay, that's fine. I was like, I'll do that.
Oh, okay.
So literally 3 of us wore the exact same Hollister shirt and the exact same pair of jeans with the exact same sneakers. And I remember I walked in and someone goes, what are you wearing? And I was like, it's my costume. Because everyone knew I never wear this shit. But what killed me was by the end of the day, half my friends were like, bro, you know, you look good in that shirt. I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, don't you start. I was like, stop it. I'm not wearing it. But then again, Colombians would normally wear shit like that. So I was like,
oh, okay,
fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. I was like, okay, fine. But it was also just one of those things where like I was also just never a fan of the brand anyway, so I would never really wear it again. But it was really funny because it was that one time that I wore all it was even a Hollister shirt. I didn't even wear Hollister jeans. It was literally just a Hollister t-shirt. And I was like, I can't stand this shit. But I was like, I'm really mad that people were like, no, bro, you look good. And I was like, wow. I was like, all right then. And of course, it wasn't just any Hollister shirt. It was a hot pink Hollister shirt.
Oh, bloody hell.
So if I was going to go in, I was like,
you went all out.
I'm going hard. I was like, fuck it. If I'm going to wear some Hollister shit, it's going to be one of the most fruitiest fucking shirts I can wear that were for guys.
Yeah.
And then that's what killed me. That when then people were like, oh, it looks good on you. And I'm like, stop it.
I'm like, don't.
Yo,
Stop insulting me.
Bro, I was like, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
God. See, it's nice when Halloween is about that. It is about having fun and laughter and not all the other crappy stuff.
Yeah,
that
bro,
comes
exactly.
with it.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had some really bad Halloweens, and it is just, and that's what I mean. It's just people can ruin it for everybody, and you just think, oh, what a selfish gift. Just
yeah, bro. Yeah, nah, you're right, and and it's like, and don't get me wrong, bro. Like, I understand you got people who get super into Halloween. They really want to dress up. They want to do all. And I totally get that. But at the end of the day, too, bro, you can't be annoyed when someone else doesn't share that same energy for it. Like, bro, I'm not going to ruin your night, but don't be mad just because I don't want to dress up. Don't be mad just because, like, I don't want to be a certain way. Like, I just don't want to. Like, will I? Of course. Yeah, I'd love to. But then a lot of times it's like, bro, depending what I'm doing, depending the situation, it's like, I'm good. I'm not bothered. Like, I'm okay. Like, but hey, man, if you love Halloween, you want to go all. I mean, I've seen people fucking spend like $1,000 on a costume, and I'm like, son, you wearing it for all of like 6 hours for one night? Goddamn, like holy shit!
And some people have some insane. You only think, yeah, you've spent money on this, and it's like you're already wearing it for like the evening. It's not like you're going out into central London and wearing it all day. Like you're just wearing it for that evening, and you only think, don't get me wrong, some people are happy like that because they probably don't spend for the rest of the year. But you're like, damn, you go all out, which is pretty cool. Like, I'm not going to knock it, but I just find it very fascinating when people do that because you think, damn.
But I will say this, though, and this is just a me thing. Obviously, for anyone in this group that I'm about to mention, of course, it may be different for you. But I think one thing that truly makes me laugh about Halloween is I've seen cosplayers go all out on a random cosplay shoot to then come Halloween, and I'm like, that's it? That's just her costume? Like, I was like, bro, you're a cosplayer. Yeah. You should be making the most fire-lit costume for Halloween, and sometimes it's the most basic shit. And I'm like, all right. Like, I was like, okay. Granted, I'm just talking about from cosplayers that I've seen. I'm sure there are cosplayers out there that they probably planned their Halloween costume like 2 months in advance. Yeah. But it just makes me laugh that like I've seen cosplayers like go all out on like a cosplay for like a random event, but then Halloween comes around and they're like, here's my one piece. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, you're just rocking a onesie. Fuck it. All right, do you. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm just surprised. That's all it is. I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
Because cosplayers go in for costumes and to cosplay. That it just makes me laugh when they don't for Halloween. You would think that's like you would think that they would do like the most insane Halloween cosplay costume because it's actually a thing that you dress up for. But to each their own. It's fine, It is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, each their own. I get it. It can be hard work, as it is anyway, with a bit of extra added hard work on top. So.
Factual.
Yeah, I hear that.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys, because we are gonna record an episode for the Patreon. So stay tuned out for that. You'll see it coming up. But yeah, guys, as always, man, we appreciate y'all. Today was definitely a fun episode. I do apologize for, like I said, sounding nasally or coughing and all that. It's very annoying. Hopefully when I come back, because I'm going away on another cruise, so there won't be an episode next week. But we'll definitely have an episode out after that. And then, of course, at the end of the month, guys, we will be releasing a Halloween episode. So we are very excited about that. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you got anything else for the lovely people at home, Sony.
No, all good here.
Oh, was going to say before we head out, guys, a big, huge shout out and a big thank you to the Sheer Thoughts family, guys, because we keep growing. The numbers keep going up. We haven't exactly been able to stay consistent, but it's still the fact that we still love doing this. We still love seeing the growth, and we truly love seeing the support from each and every one of you. I mean, it's unbelievable. There are days where I'm like, oh man, like, are we really growing? And I'll go look, and I'm like, yep, we're still growing, bro. Like, it's amazing, you know. And I'm not saying like we gotta grow to like millions and millions and millions. It's just the fact that to see the growth and the support that you all keep giving, it's such an amazing thing to see. And I, you know, from me, from the bottom of my heart, I know truly from Sony's heart, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love, and we appreciate the growth that this family just keeps going through. So it's amazing, you know. And again, to all those who support the Patreon, have signed up, you know, to anyone who will sign up if you're interested, guys, it means the world to us. We truly do appreciate it. So seriously, thank you. It's an amazing thing to see, honestly.
It is. Trust me, it is.
But so yeah, guys, we'll let y'all go. Y'all have a good one. Y'all take care as always. Much love as always, guys. And we'll see you guys next time.